Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, back for more Malifaux, and this time a lost love. I'm gonna try to paint him as spectral as I can, mostly using lighting effects, and then I'm gonna put out a gore warning here, which you'll be able to see pretty bluntly in a minute. So, little kids turn away. Matte White. So Lost Love is the spectral remnant of Francis Kitchener, Kirai's lover. And that's about all there is to him. His presence is as much a torment to Kirai as it is a balm. And, well, her attempt to bring him back, well, you really need to read the Fiction in the Resurrectionists book. I'm not going to spoil that here, but, yeah. So I do want the base dark. And we'll just, again, I'm going to be experimenting, so we'll see if this works out in reality the way it works out in my head. I don't know, to be honest. And that's the thing about experiments, you don't always know what exactly is going to happen. So, I'm going to let that dry completely, and we'll see if what I try ends up working out or not. Okay. So, Driftwood Brown 09162. This is going to get kind of weird no matter how I do it, so we'll just, again, we'll see if this works out in reality the same way it does in my head. 1 part water to 1 part paint, thinning it into a wash. Okay. Alright, let's plot that out a bit. Again, I'm kind of painting this in just lighting effects for the most part. This is going to be fairly awkward. Ashen Blue 09057. Actually, yeah, we'll do that, and then I'll do the, yeah. Getting a little, I could debatably be doing some of this in an awkward order. I think about it, but we're just gonna see what we get. Just getting the pants, trying to avoid the viscera as best I can. The artwork for Lost Love in 3rd edition Resurrectionist book looks different, so he might be getting a new sculpt. We'll just see what happens when it happens. Uniform gray. I'd say right now he's starting to look a bit like one of the ghosts from Disney World's Haunted Mansion ride, and that's how he turns out. That'd be great, actually. This bottle's about empty, so we'll just see him using just enough water to thin the paint as normal for base coating here, being real careful around the feet. I'm so used to doing things in a very specific order that when I disrupt it for experimentation, I tend to forget. And I'm going to let that dry completely before I get the next. So you know what? There's one more I can do actually now that I look at it. True Silver 09207. He's got a little knife in his right hand. Just a little one, which could easily be a piece of broken glass as well. Just get that little blade and see if this does what I'd like it to do. Alright, let that dry completely now and I can move on. Okay. Golden Highlight 09093. Being careful here because I do not want to get this on the thing he's holding in his hand. Which, well, if you can't figure it out by now, I'll bluntly explain it when I paint it. Now, I'm going to go over his eyes with the white before I finish this up, because there is going to be a lighting effect in there as well. It's just going to be an off-camera thing. I'll be using the same matte white I painted the model with before I started all this stuff here. And I probably could have primed him in white, but when I assembled and primed, I didn't have any idea how I was going to paint him, and this idea didn't come to me until a day or two ago when I was getting ready to get started on Kurai. This is along the lines of some of the experimentation I did on that on Garcore Bladegeist Revenant a few videos ago. I'll have to think about that. I'll have to keep that in mind. Or this in mind. Okay. Let that dry up, and then I can prep those eyes and finish this step of the painting. It's... oh, come on, focus. I don't know if I'd really call it shading or not, but yeah, back in a minute. Alright. I think this is about as focused as I'm going to get on this, unfortunately. Vampire Red. Very carefully starting with his eyes. Oh, that isn't going to work. Alright. Absorb that and try again with a tinier brush. And this seems to be his own beating heart, which, if you think about, brings to mind Mortal Kombat, the original game. Kano's fatality was ripping the opponent's heart out, but in the original version, it looked like a chiclet, that gum. And going over the viscera here. sides of his innards spilling out. Sounds like got a little out of hand there. And then Stormy Gray 09088. Shading. The base, this is just a quick custom sculpting, just a layer of sculpting putty into the recess in the base, followed up with a pattern carved in before it dries. Okay, let that all dry completely, and then I can highlight back in a bit. Okay, highlighting and wrapping up. Pearl White 09100. I'm going to try to make him look spectral, but I also noticed something in reading the entry for the next model in my queue here and kind of looking back at what it said about the Lost Love. I noticed something on his card I had missed before, and that is he has the living keyword. So looks like Kirai's ritual may have worked somewhat, but so straight paint, no water, ragged feathered brush, but this is a sculpt from when Lost Love was still among the undead. So I'm hoping that this continues to make him look shiny and spectral, which is what I'm going for here. Just see. But Lost Love gaining the living keyword would certainly help to explain why he seems to be getting a new sculpt. Okay, not too bad. Misty Gray 09090. Kind of brings to mind that Patrick Swayze movie Ghost, which I've never actually seen in its entirety. I've only seen bits and pieces of it here and there. That might have been an inspiration for this sculpt when they were designing it, but there's no way of knowing. And Pure Black 09037 to finish up. So pretty straightforward and simple here. And not too bad. It's pretty close to what I was going for, though not exact. So not too bad. Flathead brush using just enough water to thin the paint. Just gonna line the base here. Keeping the brush moist but not too wet. And that is it. Lost Love from the Resurrectionists faction of Malifaux. Oh boy! Okay, system problems again. Okay, can we get a focus here? Maybe? Kinda. Okay, there we are. Lost Love from the Resurrectionist faction of Malifaux. Continuing on with models associated with Karai and Koku. And until then, I'm Ian Stuckey with Mastermind Games, signing out.